Crossmac, you've probably asked the most poignant question in the life of viewers, and I really do thank you for that. I don't know why you do what you do on YouTube, but I believe that me finding your video, which is something that I don't surf YouTube very often, is a very important thing. You didn't make me aware of these issues. I've been working on these types of skills for over 10 years now. But what did impress me is the fact that you've had so many of your viewers that actually showed an interest and a concern about all these things. And so, you know, one of the things that, you asked in this was, how will you save the planet? How do you contribute to that? It appears that your contribution is to ask that question. And, your viewers showed whether or not they really cared about it. And I guess that, it's good to see that there's so many people out there that do care about these issues. And I guess it's about time for my contribution because of that, because one of the things that I noticed was that in their responses, everything seemed all centered around recycling and what can be done with recycling. That is just a small piece of the puzzle when it comes to our environment and where we're getting our energy from and how we're using our energy and all of those technologies that go behind that. Not that it to minimize the effect of that, but there's so much more to it. And so for years, I've been determined to create a website that's geared towards educating people, and primarily the younger generations, on how the truths of the environment, alternative fuels, the technologies that work with that. And I've always thought that it would be the right time in another, 5 years or so down the road. Well, it really looks like that road's coming to an end pretty quickly. Now, you and your viewers have pretty much made me realize that now is the time. And it appears that YouTube really is the starting point for me to do this. The website that I was looking at before, maybe come along, maybe it won't. But this is definitely a good point and a good medium for me to try and get my point across, try and do what I think I can provide in my contribution, trying to help save this very fragile planet that we live on. Now, I didn't watch all of the video responses that you had to your question, but I did watch quite a few. And like I said, it was encouraging the fact that so many people did respond. But everyone needs to have a significantly better understanding of energy and the issues that go around it as far as the environment goes. It's a very complicated thing. It includes the politics of where we get our energy and how we use our energy, and also the fact that us as the United States, we're the worst contributor to CO2 and all that in the atmosphere, as well as most other industrialized countries. But the United States, we probably put up about 50% of it into the environment, and so we're actually the worst when it comes to that. And this is a message that I'm hoping that we can get to everyone around the world, because there's a lot of important things here, and it's not just a U.S. issue. It's a worldwide issue. Now, I need everyone to really understand that there is definitely a large campaign out there, misinformation about what's happening in the environment and the fuels and stuff that we use and how long we're going to have to use them and all that. And the reason for that is because there are trillions and trillions of dollars at stake for the oil, coal, natural gas, electric companies, auto companies, and that's just to name a few of the industries that really have a major sway on those things. Now, there is a requirement, though, for those industries to create doubt about the validity of the global warming hype. Just as an example, I live in Chicago, actually near Chicago. Today is January 3rd, 2007, and I'm going to ask you to guess how much snow there is on the ground. Nothing. And there hasn't been very much. As a matter of fact, the snowstorm that we had was the beginning of this month, and we had less than 6 inches of snow. Now, I went and I just did a little bit of research, and according to the National Weather Service, the calendar year of 2006 in Chicago, our average temperature was about 3 degrees hotter than average since they've been keeping records, which was 1958. And there alone, we're lacking almost 18 inches of snow. But we did get 6.5 inches more rainfall than average. So it makes this year the 18th wettest year on record. Now, we also, though, created 6 of the highest temperature ratings on record for Chicago, just in this year. Now, I know that you don't live in Chicago, and there's many of you that don't. But what I ask you to do is check your area, check and see what is happening with the weather in your area, because this isn't something that's, just here. It's everywhere. It's worldwide. Actually, from one of the responses that you had from our friend in Iceland, BJ Adrespond, he's getting rain in the middle of winter in Iceland. Now, they didn't name it Iceland for no reason. They're supposed to have snow. It's a very cold place, or it's supposed to be. Well, that's not the case anymore. So, that's enough of my rant. Now it's actually time to get down to business. If you can't look around where you live and see the changes that are taking effect, and this isn't over centuries, I mean, this is over the last few years, you're blind and you're lost, and in more reasons than, in more ways than one. But for those of us that want to make a difference, I truly need for you to understand the type of commitment that this is, and these changes are going to be more difficult than you believe. Don't let that stop you. You, and I mean everyone there, not just Cosmac, you can make a difference. Everyone out there can make a difference, and a big difference. Now, I've been working on this for a long time, and I have opened my eyes. And I've had a vision of people of all ages everywhere in the world being able to create clean, renewable power from their homes, driving vehicles that actually clean the air that they breathe, without having to have wars for power, whether it's oil or coal or wood or whatever it is. We don't need to have wars for these things. There's more than enough for everybody. But it's a matter of where we start and how we start and how we got to get. It's about education. Now, I'm planning on trying to start this today. So, for those of you that are sick of being led down those destructive paths, almost cattle to a slaughter, I ask you to also open your eyes, minds, your hearts, and let your voices be heard. Give some responses to this. Let some validity to the challenges and to the path that we want to take here. We want to create a new future for our kids. Now, let's learn from each other. I want to teach as well as learn as much as I can from everybody that's out there. Now, these are very difficult challenges. And so, let's show the generations, this is current and future, that we're not as weak-willed and selfish as everyone likes to think that we are. We're not. We want to make a change, but a lot of people out there don't have enough information. They don't know how to make these changes or what's available to them. I want to help with that as much as I can. So instead, let's show them that we're consciously thinking and doing things and doing the right thing. Now, I want to take the first step, and I will create some videos that help people, laymen, scholars, it doesn't matter. I want something that everyone can understand. So that everyone can understand what these problems are, and most importantly, how and we're all citizens in the same world. It doesn't matter what country you live in, what religion you are, anything. This is going to affect everybody. And if you think that it's going to be beyond your generation, if you're alive today, it will affect you. It already is. Like I said, look around the world. It's already out there. So what I want to ask is that I ask those of you that have your eyes open now, let's educate ourselves. Ask questions. Ask me questions. Ask your teachers. Ask your politicians. Ask yourself. What can we do to make these changes? This isn't something that we can push off on big business and politics and government, because they've all got their own agendas. And right now they're making tons and tons and tons of money off of the way things currently are. And they're not going to make changes until it's too late. And realistically, there are a lot of changes that are already occurring that are too late. But there are things that we can do to minimize those effects and to find ways that we can live on this world peacefully with it. Now, for the rest of you, I appreciate your time and attention, but please understand that I don't do this for myself. I do this for my children. I do this for your children and their children. Their generations and generations are going to have to live with all of the results that we provide starting today. So don't think this is something that we can put off and that your kids are going to fix. Tell you what, right now, if we don't make changes, our children will be farmers over the last drops of oil. And many, many of them are going to die. I don't want to see that happen with children. So please, don't forget the message. The message is you can make a difference. Please let me know.